All the knowledge we've learned this week about time has made my head just expand so much. And there's one more lesson for us to do today. I hope you're ready. So I want you to take a second and I want you to think about everything that we've learned this week from Monday all the way to Thursday. And I want you to share that either with someone who is next to you or you can just think about it yourself. So we've had a great week. We've learned about the analog clock and we've learned how to identify what an analog clock is. We've also learned that on the analog clock, we have 2 hands, 12 numbers, 60 lines. We've also learned that when we are counting by minutes, each number we count by, you guessed it, 5. And there are how many minutes in an hour? Yes, 60 minutes in 1 hour. Perfect. Today, we are going to dive into telling time by half an hour. So our I can statement today, repeat after me. I can tell time by half an hour. We'll be identifying our times by the half hour. Now, before we get started, I want us to be able to identify which number should the minute hand be on for it to be 30 minutes. Now, there's no clock on our board today, so I want you to think about using maybe your fingers, or if you have cubes at home, you can use cubes. Each finger or cube is going to be counted by 5s because we use increments of 5 when we are trying to figure out our minutes. So let us think. How many minutes or how many cubes, how many fingers do I need to get to 30? Let's try to figure it out. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How many fingers do I have up? Yes, 6 fingers. So what number should my minute hand point at in order to give me 30 minutes? If you said 6, kiss your brain. Awesome job. So I'm going to draw my clock. And I'm going to fill in my clock. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So when we're identifying by half an hour, that means that we are in between the hour. Everybody say it with me. In between the hour. So something different is going to happen to our hour hand. We know that our minute hand is pointing at which number? Yes, the 6. So I'll go ahead and write that in. My minute hand goes all the way down because it covers the 6. I want 4:30. Now, we said that half an hour is in between or halfway to the next hour. If I look at the number 4:30, what's the next number that comes after 4? Yes, the number 5. So because half an hour is in between the hour, that means that my hour hand is not going to point at the 4, but it should be pointing between 2 numbers. What 2 numbers do you think it should be pointing between? If you said between 4 and 5, you are correct. So the correct way to write this is our hour hand pointing in between the 4 and the 5 because it is halfway past the 4. It is halfway past the 4. Awesome job. And we know that this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is 4:30. We are going to do another example, but before that, let's jump into our definition box. Identifying time by half an hour. And identify, we already know, means tell. Awesome job. So today, we are going to focus on half hour, our hour hand, our minute hand, and what kind of clock are we working with again? Yes, an analog clock. Half an hour is the same as saying what? No minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes. Half an hour means that my minute hand is pointing at the 6. Let's count and see how many minutes have passed. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yes, 30 minutes. So half hour, or telling time by half an hour, it's telling time whenever there is 30 minutes. Awesome job. What about our hour hand? Our hour hand is the short hand. If our hour hand is the short hand, our minute hand is the long hand. And analog clock, give me the details. How many hands does it have? 2 hands. How many numbers does it have? 12 numbers. How many lines does it have? 60 lines. And it's in the shape of a circle. Perfect. We're going to do one more example before I let you guys go and do your work on your own. So, I'm going to draw my circle. What number goes at the top? 1? I hope I didn't hear 1. Oh, 12 goes at the top. If 12 goes at the top, what number goes at the bottom? 6. What number goes to the left? 9. What number to the right? 3. And let's fill it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we know in between goes 5 lines, but for the time, we're going to leave it just like this. I want to tell time to half an hour. I'm going to put on the board, what time is that? The hour is 9. And the 30 minutes lets me know that it is the number 30. It is 9:30. Awesome job. How will I write this on my clock? Well, let's remember, when we're talking about half an hour, we're talking about cutting in between 2 numbers. So we're starting at 9, but what number comes after 9? You're right, 10 comes after 9. So I'm going to write 10 right here. So I know that my hour hand needs to be between the number 9 and the number 10 because I'm halfway past the number 9. My minute hand is the number 30. So if I'm looking at the number 30, I need to count by 2s, 3s, 10s, oh, by 5s. Am I starting at the number 12? No, that is the number 0 when I'm counting by 5s. So I have 0 here, and then I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I know that my minute hand, which is the long one, should be going all the way down to the 6. That's my minute hand. I said that my hour hand needs to be in between the 9 and the 10. So I'm going to point at the 9. I'm not going to draw my hour hand directly to the 9, because is that showing me that I've been halfway past the 9? No, it is not. So I'm going to draw my hour hand halfway between the 9 and the 10. You guys see this? It's not on the 9, but it's not on the 10 either. It's telling the 10, hey, we're almost there. Just give us 30 more minutes. And before I let you guys out, I want to make sure that we understand this. I'm going to give an example, and this time I'm going to put the hands first. If I look at my clock, I know that my minutes is how many? Yes, 30. If you didn't know that, we should start at 1 by counting by 5s. So we'll do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, then 30. Next thing that I want to figure out is, how do I know if I'm going to choose the 1 or the 2? Well, if I go to my line, so I'm pointing at my hour hand, and I cover my hour hand, what number is next to my hand? Yes, the number 1. So the way that we identify which number we are in is by covering the number where the arrow is and seeing what number is left, which is the number 1. Although the hour hand has passed the number 1, it's not at the number 2 yet. So I want to show you guys this example on the clock. So right now, we have 1:30. The hour hand is not touching the 1, but it's not touching the 2 either. If I cover my arrow, what number am I pointing at? The number 1, which lets me know that we are still in the hour of 1 o'clock, but now it is 1:30. Awesome job. Now if I continue to move my clock, now that the hour has been completed, went too far. Now it is 2 o'clock. So whenever we're trying to figure out the time, we cover that arrow and see which number did it pass, because that means we're still in that hour. We're only halfway through that hour. What I like to do is circle that number so that I remember that we are in the hour of 1, and the minutes that we've been in 1 o'clock have been 30 minutes.